Hey guys, Raytheon back with another video. Now, this is kind of a two-parter, maybe not, maybe so, of a video. I'm just going to talk about condition and why it matters so much on especially Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color games. In my last video, I talked about, Pokemon on the rise, but I didn't really talk or speak about too much on the condition and stuff for certain things. I did show you guys the condition, but I wanted to elaborate more on that real quick. So, with DS games, there's the artwork and then you have the cases for them. So a lot of these cases and stuff are, some of them can be in really immaculate conditions and stuff, as you can see here, especially, this one I picked up white 2. It's not really in the best condition, as you can see the manual and stuff, but I do have it, and at some later date I can always upgrade and get a manual for this game as well. But something that you cannot skip on is the complete in box experience. These boxes were not really made to last at all, if not. And part of the reason is, especially when I was a kid, I had my mom, she took me to Toys R Us, and she took me to Toys R Us. She bought me a Game Boy. At first, she bought me a Game Boy Pocket, and that Game Boy Pocket was the Tetris one. It came bundled in with Tetris Attack. And we left there, I was playing Tetris Attack. I was playing a few other games on Game Boy, but Tetris Attack was like the one main game that I played. So I have a lot of memories with that, because that was really the game that I played over and over again. It wasn't until later on when Pokemon first was coming out, and that was pretty much everybody on the yard. That's what everybody was talking about. Pokemon this, Pokemon that. You got to get red, you got to get blue. And so that couple weeks into, or a couple months after the fact, I spoke to my mother, and she took me to Toys R Us, and I picked up Pokemon. I think it was Pokemon Blue is what I picked up first. Complete in box, with the box and everything. I remember it like it was yesterday. I got in the car, I opened it out of the box, and I didn't really care about it. I didn't really care about the box at the time. I don't think any kid cared about the box, other than a parent that was very, how do you say, very particular at how they kept their kids' things. I have a friend that, his dad, especially with Pokemon, he would buy him cards, he would open them, and then he would immediately, his dad would take them from him and sleeve them and put them in a binder. That was kind of the same thing as for complete in box Pokemon games as well. Now, I picked up this copy of Pokemon Fire Red for, I believe it was about $90, I think. Way under value. Now, in the case, you can't really tell too much about it to see how bad the condition is. Maybe I can press this out and make it look a little bit better, but it is a very well-loved copy with the game. So, but yeah, going back, we would throw these out. As soon as you got the game, you would take the game out, you maybe look at the manual a little bit, and then this stuff would get tossed out immediately, or you just forget about it. So the boxes go for so much more money because of the fact that, getting a box, yet let alone getting a box, is expensive, but getting one that's in pristine condition is through the roof. So, and then you're not even talking about like getting it sealed. Getting it sealed is even more expensive. So condition matters to me. I don't know about everybody else, but I can speak on myself. For me, I prefer to get games that are in good condition, in case I want to sell it at a later date. Like if I lose interest in something, if you ever lose interest in something, you can always sell it. And the guy that sold me this, I bought this on Whatnot. He was sitting on this for, I want to say, like maybe 6 months to maybe almost a year. He was sitting on this. Nobody was bidding on it. Nobody. He had it listed in his show, and He had it for $100, $120, I think, and nobody was picking it up. Why? Because of the condition. I offered him $80 or $90, and he took that, and that was it. Now, condition matters to me because, when I want to get rid of it, I can get rid of it. Obviously you can get rid of these games, or if it's in bad condition, you can get rid of it. Obviously you can, because once you post it for a certain price, it'll sell. But it's hard to get what you want out of it, is what I'm saying. But I am going to continue, and I strongly suggest people to get things in pristine condition, because there's a lot of buyers out there that will, they will pick up a game or a box or whatever immediately if it's in really nice condition. It's kind of like you buying a car. It's been used, it's had a lot of miles on it, versus the same car but it's newer. It's a lot more pristine condition, stuff like that. It's easier to sell on. Somebody will be more likely to buy a car with less miles than anything else. Real quick, when I was working, my boss at the time, he gave me his credit card, to go buy a car. It was pretty much a work van, and there was somebody, I guess, at the facility, the truck place, they had two vans. They were identical. They were from a commercial company, and they were identical. The only differences between them both was the mileage. One had about 40,000 or 48,000 miles, and the other one had about 20,000 miles. Now, this is every case by case, but I ended up picking the one with the higher mileage, unfortunately. And I only picked it because it had recent maintenance done. Now, that's not always the case. It's not always going to be the case, but everything with these games and stuff is all case by case. Whether it has its manuals, whether it has certain items that it was supposed to come with, stuff like that. So I strongly suggest you guys keep on the lookout for not only this complete in box stuff, but try to get your games in the best condition that you can. If you're, my thing is, like, if you're gonna, and I'll leave it at this, my thing is, if you're gonna spend the money to purchase these kind of games, especially the ones in the case or the ones that came in a big box, if I'm gonna spend the money for it, I might as well, go all out and get the best condition one that I can, is my thinking on it. So I'll leave you guys with that. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. You guys take care, and you guys enjoy your Saturday. Peace.